Well, hello. This is Sherry Hughes with Pro Paper Crafter, bringing to you another monthly subscription kit project. This is our main project for today. It is a gorgeous pastel colored mini album that's in floral prints. It's held together by a little ribbon tie. I'm going to run through it so you can see how it's made, and then we're going to actually construct this. So I'll do a very quick run through so you can visualize it. And we have here page 1. If you'll notice, this is the front cover. Inside of the front cover is page 1. Then this is page 2. And in page 2, we have a beautiful little clasp here done with a ribbon, a waterfall. And you can write little notes, do some pictures, however you would like to do it. But the little waterfall is for you to enjoy. And I love those pretty green colors. I'm going to tie that back so it won't be loose. Then the next page is in blue with a pocket here. Here we have a magnet closure. We use the ribbon as the tab. Open it up and you have more flaps. Lots of room for photos. Turn it on over and you've got a pocket here and a pocket here in the diagonal. I'm going to show you how to make that. And then you have a double pocket in the pink. You have a nice belly band here that you're going to use for a card for somebody special. Back here we have a flap and another flap in pretty purples. And in the very back, another angle pocket so that you can tuck maybe some flower seeds in there. And in the back, we have another pocket. So that's our project for today, and we're going to go ahead and get started. You're going to need to have your scoreboard, your adhesive, such as a good glue that we use. I use art glitter glue. I put it in my glue press to use it. You're going to need some double stick tape, and we'll go from there with some scissors and a trimmer. So now let's get started. The first thing I want you to realize is you have a cutting guide to follow. The cutting guide is very simply done to where you can figure out how to prepare the different pages that you get. And I'm going to turn around because I thought I had one of the kits right here in front of me, but I don't. The collection that you got today is full of good papers. Plus, you got a 6x8 pad that you can pull your paper from. I used a combination of both. And then on the cutting guide here, everything in black, I have already pre-cut and scored for you. Everything in the color, like the pink, you're going to find that's what you have to cut out using the printed papers that you have been provided in the kit. Most of the very front album construction part has been done for you. Just a couple of pieces you have to do on the front cover. So you'll see that each page is identified. The inside of the front cover is page 1. Then you have page 2, 3, 4, etc. all the way back to page 12. And this, in your kit, you have a 12x12 collection pack, which has some beautiful papers. I love these. Love these papers. And then you have a 6x8 paper pad so that you have a variety of the same papers, just at a different size. Now, you can keep in mind when you get ready to cut these designer papers, you're going to want to cut this middle one here that has the 2x2 squares, because you need those squares that you find on the front side of this piece. So before you start cutting up the different pages, make sure you cut that middle one there first. With that footnote, I'll go ahead and get started and show you. You have 2 packets in your book, or in your kit, I should say. The first one is the one we're going to do in this video. We're going to actually construct the album, and then this is all the pages that we decorate with. So we're going to start with the album itself, and we're going to complete it. Now you will be taking the pages and decorating those before you put them in the book. That way you get a good smooth surface when you're working with those pieces. So let's go ahead and start with the album construction part first. You'll see that we have a large gusset on the inside. The book itself is about, I think it's 2.5 or 3 inches thick, right at 3 inches, 2 7/8 inch. And then you have different pages mounted to a gusset, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you open it up, you'll see that you can't see that gusset because it's made to where you don't actually see it itself. So we're going to dive right into this now. In your packet 1, you've got mounting board that is already pre-cut for you. As you can see, it's in the shape of the book. When you raise it up, you can see it's a book shape. We're going to be covering this mounting board. Even though it's lovely as it is, we're going to take our linen pieces, which are 7 3/4 by 9 3/4, and we're going to cover this mounting board. Now, if you know how to assemble a book, you can jump ahead in the video, but I'm going to pretend like you have never seen it before and go from there. So, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to use the smooth side, and I'm going to adhere it to the front of the book. Sometimes I use score tape or double-sided adhesive. I really like it, but for this project, I think I'm going to go ahead and just use the glue that I have and go from there. All right, so I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to adhere it onto my mounting board. You can use double stick adhesive, like I said, tape, if you wish. But I'm going to go ahead and put a healthy dose of glue on here and just make this a quick run through. I want it to stay nice and firmly down to the paper. So let's get this going. I'm going to take it and I'm going to center it right in the very middle, leaving an inch on both sides and at the top and the bottom. Trying to keep it very straight. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to flip it over and burnish that down. We're going to be covering this, so that's why I chose the glue. You're not going to see very much of this. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to kind of score around those edges just a little bit. You can probably see where I'm starting to form a little bit of an edge. Now I'm going to start training that paper. And you know that I'm a firm believer in doing this very slowly, getting those paper fibers trained so they'll bend without actually breaking. Plus, my glue has not set yet, so I've got to be careful. All right, we're doing pretty good here. So now I'm going to lift it up. Slowly bring that over. And don't worry if it's not perfectly straight, folks. We're going to be tucking it to where you'll never know if it's straight or not. Now I'll do the other side the same way. Okay, then I'm going to do my ends. And I'm just going to do this first one, and I'll do the other one off camera. So we're going to do both of these big square mounting board pieces same way. So I'm not going to bore you with a video doing this twice. All right, now I've got my papers pretty much cornered there. So I can take my mounting foam now, or okay. I'm going to take my score tape, and I'm going to start applying it directly down onto here. I'm putting it on the mounting foam, board. I keep wanting to call it mounting foam. And I'm putting one piece on the mounting board, one piece on the paper itself. And then I'm going to trim it in a moment so that I can get that extra bit of exactness when I cut the corner. All right. I'm almost done. All right. Burnish those down because you don't want this to come up. Good. My other camera rig broke, so I've had to get a new one, and I think it's actually better, so you'll have to let me know if it looks as good or not. Now I'm going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to miter these corners. Again, I'm just going to cut right here and right there. See how I did that? I left about, a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to do this same thing here. You can do an exact X, or you can do like I'm doing and angle it a little bit. Now, I'm going to apply my glue, but first I've got to take all my backing off of my tape. Wonder how many yards of tape I've used over the years. I have no earthly idea. This Suquang score tape, though, there is nothing better. I just ordered a ton of it today to sell and use, and I just love it. Now, I'm going to do my 2 long ends first, so I'm going to put glue in that joint. Add some more glue here to bind it nicely. If there's an edge above your tape, apply the glue there too. Now, I'm going to pull this over and score it down. Oh, that looks nice, guys. Excellent. Now we're going to go around to this side. No, I'm not worried about that glue right there. It ain't going to make any difference. And I'm going to add the glue over here. If you put too much, it'll squirt out the sides, and you don't want to do too much on there. All right, now I'm going to press that over. I kind of start at the middle. Press that down. Good. Got some glue on there, so I'm going to wipe it off so that I won't get it on the front. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on the end. Okay. Oh, that's a nice corner. I like those corners. They look good. Excellent. And then turn it around to this side and do it. Excellent. So here's our cover on the inside, and this is our front. Good job. Now I'm going to pause the camera and go ahead and do the opposite one, exactly like I did this one. Thank you. All right, now that I've got both the front and the back covers completed, okay, looking good. They're the same size. They look really good. I'm going to cover the spine piece, which is the piece that goes in the very middle. I'm going to be using the piece that is right here. It says inside spine 8 by 7.5. And we're going to use, no, I'm sorry. Outside spine cover is the one we're using. 6 by 9 3/4. 6 by 9 3/4. The reason why we're using that larger size is because it's got to go over those 2 edges of the front and the back. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to attach it down. Now this time, I am going to use some score tape. Because I use a combination of score tape and the glue here, and I'll tell you why. Because I want it to, it's a secure thing. In case the glue gives or the tape gives, you've got the other one to back it up and to take some of the pressure off of it. So what I'm doing is I'm using a little bit of both on this one. Now I'm going to burnish that down good. Good. And now I'm going to pull off that backing. I'm using a wider tape here. I think this is actually a 1/2 inch, if I remember correctly. All right, now I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to run it down these sides. Not heavy, because I don't want glue in the joint of the side. And I want to do it up the edge here. Up this edge. And then I'm going to fill in here. And another reason why I like to use both the glue and the tape, the glue does give you a little bit more forgiveness than the tape. So if there's glue on there, if I need to scoot it just a fraction, I might be able to, since I put glue on it. Again, this is the smooth side of the linen paper here. And I'm going to center this in the middle. And I'm not doing the scoreboard or anything to make it confusing for some of you. I'm doing a very simplistic fold here, or mounting here. All right, that looks good. I'm going to anchor that down, burnish it. Good. Now I've got to do some treating of my paper. I've got to train it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start that same process again, because this is going to be what folds in our book. And we want it to fold nice and neat without cracking if we can, so that we can actually have a long-lasting spine. So I'm going to do both of them. And then I'm going to do the ends. Good. Now I'm going to go back on it a little bit. Good. Go back on this one a little bit. Not a lot. If I bend it all the way back, it will break those fibers and make it look very hairy. All right, that's looking very good. It's almost to where it will fold flat. I'm going to go ahead and run that up and down there. Good. Fold this one and do the same thing slowly. Good. Excellent. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the end. I'm going to fold that, tuck it over. Good. And flatten that out. Very good. Do the bottom or the top, whichever it is. Good. All right, now that's what I've got. That is the spine itself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of this mounting tape. I'm going to put a piece across through here. Doesn't matter what size. I'm just using what's out. One there and one down here. Good. Okay. And then I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the backing off so I can add my glue. And I'm going to put my glue in this band, in this crease right here. Not on this, because that's where we're going to be folding the book. So we don't want that to have a lot of glue on it. So I'm kind of filling that in. Doing this whole top. And then I'm going to fold this over carefully. Burnish it down. Good. I had some glue on the table there. All right. That looks great. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Again, just along the top here. See how I've got it? And then I'm going to just fold this right over. And push that flat. Again, some glue. All right, now that's my spine, but I've got to miter these corners. So I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and cut it at an angle, not a steep angle. See, it's just barely cut. Here's the piece I cut off, just to give you an idea. See there? Let me go in a little bit. Oops. That wasn't what I wanted. Can you see there? All right, now let me go ahead and do this other side. Maybe just a little more. Okay, do the same thing on the other end. There we go, perfect. All right, so now I've got all of these edges mitered a little bit. Now, we're going to attach this to the front and back. It does not attach on the outside. You could certainly do that if you like that look, but I don't. We're going to go for a nice, neat joint. And if I show you the completed book again, you can see what the edges look like. See? You have a nice tuck-in. Now, I generally use a scoreboard so I can get them really, really, really straight. Okay? But, let's see, this one's still tight. Let me get it to go down just a little bit more here. I won't get another chance. And this one too. Good. All right, so this is the part that's not covered, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. This is the linen side. Okay, this is the linen side. And now I'm going to take my mounting tape or my foam score tape. And I'm going to put it along this edge here. And I'm going to put it about 1/4 of an inch away from that crease there. Yeah, I know this is scary. It's on the front of it, and you're scared to do that, but it'll work. Go here and do the same thing here. All right, burnish down. Okay, pull this off, pull this off, pull this off. Now let's leave that there for a minute. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of glue. Notice I'm not getting it in that crease. I do not want it to harden that crease so that you can't bend the book. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue where I don't have it, any adhesive. And now, let's see, I want that as the top. So this is going to be the back portion. Let me decide which piece I want for the back. I think this one looks good. And I'm going to try my best to line this up appropriately without using the scoreboard. Now, let me see if it works. It does. I might need to put it over just a bit. Yes, you can move it just a bit. You have to pull it back off. Want to keep it right up next to that, and I want it even. Oh, good. That's perfect. Now I'm going to score that down, or burnish it down, I should say. And see, now it's attached, and look how neat. Cool, huh? Yeah. All right, let's do this other side. We've about got the book jacket made. Okay. Put a strip down through there, again here. Okay. And I'm going to turn it. Got to get it even. Oh, they look the same to me, so it really doesn't matter. And I'm going to put it right up against that. Now I'm going to stand it up and make sure it stands nicely and that it's the same. Oh, it's perfect. Good. It'll be even. And look, guys, we have the book jacket done, and it'll lay flat. Cool. Now that part's done. Excellent. Now let's move on. The next thing is the spine cover, which would be this inside spine cover that is 8 by 7.5 inches. Is this 8 by 7.5? Why, I believe it is. Let me check with my handy dandy ruler just to be safe. Yes, 8 by 7.5. And we're going to put the linen side out towards us. And this is going to cover all of this, okay? It's going to cover so that you don't have, so you have a little extra strength. And this will secure your gusset down. So I'm going to take mounting tape again. I'm going to use some water. Okay. I'm going to put some mounting tape down. Mounting tape. I keep saying that today. I'm sorry. It's double stick tape called score tape. That's what I'm using. Just can't seem to, it's like hearing a bad ABBA song in your head and you want to sing it over and over and over again. All right, now I'm going to take this off here. All right, I'm going to take my glue gun, add some adhesive, add some more adhesive, and then I'm going to lay this with the linen side down, and I'm going to have to get my head in frame, I'm afraid, to get this lined up perfectly. Right in the middle. Good. And burnish that down. Very good. Now I need to crease it. And I don't want to use a point there, but I do need to crease that edge. So I'm creasing it. I'm going to crease this side. We're coming along great, guys. All right, that's going to have to go up a little bit more. That one's going to have to go up a little bit more. Good. Now I'm going to glue this down onto my back. You can either glue the book or you can glue the page. I may do both. Again, stay away from that center area so that the page will fold. Or the book will fold, rather. All right, now I'm going to put that down, press a little bit of glue shot out the bottom, and now I'm going to bend that up. Perfect. See? It doesn't pucker. It does perfectly. Excellent. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, I'm not putting it in that crease of the joint. And I did it again. I got some more glue on the edge. I know you're sitting there thinking, I wonder what she's going to do tonight that's going to be stupid. Because I do it every single time I make a video. All the kits are packed, and this is the last video I have to do for the March kit. So I'm eager to get this one done, but I want it done right. Excellent. Because this is the one I take pictures of so that you can see an accurate description of what it's going to look like from the video. Alrighty, that's moving well. Moving very well, and it lays flat. Excellent. So let me make sure that's got a good crease. That's got a good crease. That's got a good crease. And folks, we have our book jacket made. How about that? Now let's add the gusset. All right, this is our gusset piece here. And that gusset piece, what a gusset is, it's scored for you every 1/2 inch. okay? The first one's going to be scored like this. So I'm going to take this edge, okay, and I'm going to score it down, and I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of double stick tape there. Oh, I ran out. Okay, so this piece here, the very first gusset, okay, you're going to stick some double stick tape down and fold it back over itself. Just like that. You with me? That's the first gusset. Okay? Then we're going to go to the back one, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold this one over on itself like this. Again, I'm going to take some double stick tape. These rolls were very small, and I didn't get enough tape on here. All right. I'm going to put the double stick tape on there, pull off the backing, and put some in here. And I can get it in that crease because this time it doesn't matter. It's going to hold right back over this way. Now, I have folded over both ends, okay, and taped them down. Now, I'm going to fold away from where the opening is, where they join, okay. This is where I glued it on this side, and I'm going to fold that up, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Can you see where we joined it there? Okay. That is 2 of the pleats that hold the book pages. Now, we're going to leave a 1/2 inch gap here, and we're going to fold this one up. Let me pull down so you can see. So we're going to leave this one without folding it, and we're going to fold this one like this. And I'm going to score it down so you can see. Oop, I'm going to score it down so you can see. So I want you to fold it just like that. Then you're going to fold this one back. Okay. You can see now it's starting to make a pleat, and I'm going to fold this one down. So what I'm doing, I made another mountain like that. This is the first one I folded and taped. I went over, then I went up to make a mountain and back down. Okay? Now I'm going to tape that little valley in between my mountain there. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that. You can wait to the end and fold it all, but sometimes it's easier to explain on the video if I do it as we go. All right. So I'll just fold that down. Now I have that and that. I'm going to fold this one over and make that little valley, make that little open area between the pleats. Okay, good. Got 1, 2. Now I'm going to go up again and make another mountain. And you notice I'm scoring them down so that I have nice crisp edges, and then bend that back so that when I look at it, I now have, let me see if I can line it up for you. There we go. That's what I have now. I've got 1, 2, 3 pages. So you can see I've got that pattern going. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue down the middle of that one. This may be confusing for you the first time or two you do it, but you'll get the hang of it because it's really kind of easy, especially if you do it the way I'm showing you. Now I'm going to fold that over because I added my tape and my glue. Excellent. And now I'm going to bend that. Looky there, I've got my 3-page gusset so far. Now I'm going to go back over again. See how it's starting to stand up like this? This is another area that needs to be left open, so I'm going to bend it back like this. Okay, good. And make me another mountain. I'm going slow, I hope enough for you. So, again, I have a mountain there. I'm going to bend this one beside it down a little so I can get a hold of it. Okay. See, now I've got page 4. I'm going to go in and put tape down through there. And then, of course, I'm going to add my glue. Fold it over. Press it down. Okay. And then, again, I've got an open area. And look, we've already done the other side. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-page gusset. Just like that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and burnish them down really, really, really good. So they'll stand up nice and straight and even. I'm going to turn them the other direction now and do the same thing. Burnish that. Okay. Now that's the gusset, and this is going to be attached right here in the middle of our book, right in the center. Now, glue will hold. Tape won't hold by itself because this is going to be so heavy it will pull it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take double stick tape, and I'm going to use it. This is the front. I'm going to turn it over onto the back. See, it's a nice smooth back now that I've got it all pleated. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of double stick tape, and I'm going to put that on top of it. Okay. Then I'm going to put, that one may be too wide. No, it's actually pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do a good job cutting that length again and put another piece. There we go. Now I need to burnish that down, so I'm going to turn it over, press really hard. This is where a lot of people make the mistake. They forget to burnish that tape down. Now that tape won't come off, so I'm going to peel off the backing. Good. And stick it down to the book, and I'm going to have to get my head over it. I'm kind of lining it up with this spine cover. And pressing it down. Excellent. Looky there, guys. We have our book made. Hot darn. We're doing good. All right, my friends. So you're going to take the folded inserts. These are the pages that you did for your pages. And we're going to put those to the side. we're going to take our book, and the very first page we're going to construct, we're going to take out from our packet page 2, and that's the one we're going to work with. And this is page 2 here. So we're going to use it, we're going to use this model here to go by, but I'm going to change it up just a little. This is page 1, this is page 2. And if you notice, the page will open at the left like this. So let's put our book away. Again, we're going to decorate it on the linen side. So I want to score that down smoothly. Oh, that's pretty. And we'll be attaching it when we get it decorated like this. Just a reminder, it'll slide in over this and be glued down. So we're going to decorate this now. So if you've got your packet, it's got some waterfall pieces. These are 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. We're going to need a corner rounder, and we're going to round each of these. Move that out of the way. Just like that. I've already started the just likes that. Go through and do each and every one of them. We will also do this to the designer paper, I call it designer, to the printed paper collection. Remember, you're following along with the black ink is what I've done for you, and the colored ink on your cutting guide is what you need to cut. And I've already pre-cut everything, so you'll be able to see it as we go. Now, this is the background piece here that's going here. Do not glue that in place, because in your packet, you have this little piece, which is the one that holds your waterfalls down, and a ribbon. And we've got to insert the ribbon and the waterfall. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and burnish this down. And I'm going to put my waterfall, I'm going to line this up so I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to line this up just like this so I can see my margin. And I'm going to put my waterfalls right here towards the edge, but I'm going to put the flap directly over it. So that means I'm going to mount it under this background paper. Let me pull in. I'm going to mount it underneath that. So I'm going to take a pencil, if I can get it out of my rack, and lightly mark where I'm going to be putting that. And then right in the center of that, I'm going to put my ribbon so that I will be able to bind it up. Here, I have it in the center of the page, and I don't like that as well. So let's put it directly over the waterfall. So I'm going to take this piece here. Now, before I glue my flap down, I'm going to go ahead and add my ribbon. You've got the ribbon in your kit. You just need to cut it. And you're going to put some mounting foam tape. You're going to put some double stick tape down, or you can glue it just like this. Now, I did it the wrong way to start with, so I'm having to redo it for you guys. All right, so here we go. I'm going to put my ribbon down right in the middle, right over my pencil mark, right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of the double stick tape right up here directly opposite it. This is going to be what holds my waterfall down. Now, I'm going to lay down a ruler just so I can make sure that's pretty straight. Okay, might need to, let me go ahead and expand out a little bit so you can see. I'm going to go ahead and add that ribbon right there. Nice. Now I'm going to put this down on top of that. Let's add a little glue on top of that ribbon. And we should be able to mount this flap right up to the bottom of the page. We'll burnish this down. Don't worry about the ribbon showing there because we're going to be covering that with this. There we go. So let's glue that down in place. I love this paper. It's so springy, and the colors are so fantastic. Except for where I put glue all over the table. There we go. I just laid a wet rag on top of our book. I'm not having one of those really good moment days where I'm doing good on the video. And we'll put that down. Burnish well, because our ribbon will secure this flap up and here so we can tie a bow. Okay? Now, we're going to take our waterfall pieces, and you can put them wherever you like, but I like to start at the bottom, and I put them about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and 1/4 of an inch from the side. That looks like it might be centered. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on that. Hold it down with my fingers so that when I turn it over, it's kind of in the center of my flap. That looks really good. I'm going to pull it just a little bit over. You center yours the best you can. And then burnish it down. Now, is that straight? Nope. So I need to turn it just a bit. There we go. Now I'm going to take the next waterfall piece. It's scored, so I'm going to bend it over. And I'm going to attach it, if you can see, directly on top of that piece there. Now, when I use the video pieces, they're not always exactly the right size. That's why we use them for videos. So I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to try to line up my sides so they do line up before I let that glue set. There we go. Now I'll do another one. Add the glue on here. Snug it in there and line it up. Press it down. Uh-oh. I didn't press quick enough. Let me make sure it's lined up because I want it to line up on the outside more so than on the inside. I can cover up anything on the inside there. Good. Now let's do another one. This is called a waterfall. It's one of the easiest ways to add pictures to a journal or to a page. Now we're going to add this one directly on top of that one. So I'm going to put some glue on this now. There we are. Put that down. And the last one has our measurements, which are 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. We'll stick it down. Now, if you want to miter these edges so that they don't stick out, you're welcome to. I think we've done a pretty good job of securing them on there so that it doesn't show. That's really good and aligned. All right, and there's our pages. See our waterfall? So that when we put this up, it's going to be nicely aligned. Very good. Now, I did cut some pages. You can go through and decorate these any way you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and add one to the front of this using the glue. Here we are. And we'll put this down on top of it. Good deal. That matches nicely, doesn't it? Yeah. We're going to add another one or two. I'll let you go through and finish them. But I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. You can choose which pieces you want to use. This is your craft project. I'm just going through and adding a few things to give you some ideas. I can get them lined up. Okay. And the next one. Oh, that's a pretty little scene. Let's add it. I'm clipping the corners at the bottom because the waterfall itself is clipped. And I think it kind of adds a little bit of finishing touch to it. Add this one on here. Got two more, don't we? Ooh, that's a pretty one. I like that. And if you don't want to add these, you could put photographs there. So don't feel like you have to add stuff. But I think it's so pretty when you do. Let me get this one in place. There we go. And I should have one last one. This one here. It comes in pink and purple and yellow. And to be honest with you, I saved the pink and the purple pieces for the note cards, the card kits that you've got. So I just thought that was really attractive. Okay, there's that one. All right, so now we have that. We're going to finish this front flap. To do that, we're going to take the matching paper here and put it on there. I don't want to put the writing on upside down, folks. So let's make sure we get it the right direction. I'm going to put it on here. Now, Simple Stories, they print their paper, so sometimes it's exactly the same shade and sometimes it's a little bit off. The colors of green especially are bad about that. So if they're not exactly the same shade, that's not a problem. This is the piece that I cut for that middle part. And in your cutting guide, it shows you how to do the water flaps, the waterfall flaps, and then your closure ribbon and your flap closure, the flap closure mats. It shows you all those measurements. Now we can take this and we can tie a bow right here and get it out of the way. If you want to trim the ends, but with seam binding, they tend to fray. So sometimes I will take them and actually tie a knot in them. That way they don't fray on me. And of course, if you get it wet and you crinkle it, the ribbon looks very distressed looking. So let me go ahead and tie a knot in the end. Sorry, my phone's beeping. I need to do no ring, and I didn't do that. So let me do that now. Okay, so I tied a knot in both of those. I'm going to take my Stamperia titanium scissors that cut through ribbon like butter. And that will make a pretty little display there. Isn't that nice? Now we're going to take the rest of our packet, which has a couple of pieces. We have a die cut that we did ahead of time for you, and we're going to add it to the page. Now, what I do is I tend to put on the leaves some of the glue and then just a little bit on the stems so they don't flop. You can put this anywhere you want to. I'm going to put it on the page like this. I'm going to pull up that leaf a little bit. I got a little bit too much glue on there, but that's okay. It'll look good. And then I'm going to pull off my paper flowers and put them on there. But before I do that, I'm going to flip it over and do the back side so my paper lays flat while I do that, okay? I wanted this paper to be flat. And then I used a sticker of a dragonfly up here at the top and just stuck it on. So that's how I made this particular page. Now we're going to move on to the next page, which is this pretty blue one with a pocket. So I'm going to flip this over. Now remember, I'll go back and add my little flowers after I do the next page. So now I'm going to do my blue page. And for my blue page, this is the background paper that I chose. And again, I'm going to check to make sure my writing is correct. It's on your cutting guide, the measurements there. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down in place. Excellent. Then we have a couple of pieces here. We have the pocket and we have this panel. The panel is going to go down before we add the pocket. And I used a pretty piece of the decorative paper to add to that panel. So I'm going to go ahead and add that down. And this is not popped up. These are all glued flat. I've got glue on my table. Add this on here. Excellent. Kind of center it. Make sure it looks good. Now I'm going to adhere the back of that to the paper. I used mostly plaids on all of these pages, mainly because I wanted it to be consistent. Now that looks like it's pretty well centered to me, so I'm going to go ahead and burnish that down. Now for my pocket, if you've not done pockets before, we take our scissors and we cut through that little X. You can see the X right there. And I'm going to cut right through it. Then that's called mitering, and I'm going to cut from here down and miter that edge there. It makes a nice neat fold then, so that when I fold it back, these little flaps will be kind of hidden. I want to make sure that the linen's on the outside, that pretty linen pattern. Okay. Glue holds the best. So my suggestion is to use glue. You can use a clip to hold it down in place till it dries. But because I'm on a video, I will probably use some double stick tape here to make it quick. And then I'll add a little bit of glue to it. So I'm going to put some double stick tape to hold it on the flap itself. And then I'm going to burnish that down again. And then I'll add some glue to make sure it does hold. You hate to get a pocket on there, then it fall off. And with linen paper, the double stick tape, unless you burnish it down good, it will come off. So I'm going to add some glue now. This will be inside the pocket, so you won't be able to see it. So I can be generally messy. And what I do is I tend to hold that pleat down and that pleat, so that when I add it, it doesn't attach before I want it to because of that double stick tape. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you have a tough time getting it in place. I still had a tough time, didn't I? It's not straight. I got to pull it up, straighten it. Okay, I can't handle it if it's not straight. And then I'll burnish that down. Excellent. Oh, that's pretty just like that. But let's go ahead and take a piece of the printed paper and put it on here. I'm going to put it up a little high and leave a border on the bottom. The pockets are a little bit deeper than what I had anticipated, but you can adjust your printed paper to whatever size you want to fit that. I'm going to leave it with just a little bit of an extra white showing. If you want to go, it's upside down. Don't do that. No. Okay. I did that deliberately to make sure you know the flowers are going up instead of down. All right. Now we have page 2 done. We can flip it back over, use the glue, and add a dot there, there, and right there. And we can add our little flowers. They don't have to have the green on there, but it's pretty. And I would recommend you pull this one in just a smidgen and let that dry for at least 12 hours before you put it in your book. I won't wait that long to do it, but I want you to be able to do that. You've got 2 and 3 done now. Now for page 4, you have a flap. This has a magnet in it. It also has a ribbon closure right here. It's mounted under the green plaid. And it has 2 flaps here. So we have a lot of work to do on this particular one. That magnet is actually under this green piece here. So depending on the magnet you have, some of you have a small one, some have a larger one. I don't care. It works for either one. And what you're going to do is pop them out of the little acrylic piece like this, and peel off the back, and it has adhesive there. This is the page I'm working on, page 4. So I'm now going to put this down right about there. Find the center of your page or close to it. Go in about 1.5 inches. I'll measure it to make sure y'all are with me. I think it's about 1.5 inches. And press it down, and that will secure it a little bit. But if you have double stick tape, I highly recommend you put that over top of it. Now, why? Because that double stick tape takes away that rough edge of your magnet, and it won't show as much in your book. Okay? And that's all I want you to do for the time. Keep that double stick tape cover on it, though. If you took it off just now, take it and put it back on. Because you're going to have to put some flaps on underneath this green paper here. You're going to put this flap in, and this flap, and this flap. So what we're going to do now is take our 3 flaps. Let me get some of this trash out of the way so I don't have so much in the screen. Keep that other magnet close. I'm going to take my flaps. I have 1, 2, 3 flaps. And I'm going to fold those, burnish it down, fold, and burnish it down, fold, and burnish it down. Now, this is going to go here, this one's going to go here, and this one's going to go here. Okay? Are you with me? All right. So we're going to start by placing this one first because, oh, let me make sure my page is scored straight. If it's not, I will fuss at the end. Okay. So I'm going to take this one first, and I'm going to take it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Can you see that? And I'm going to fold it over because the magnet is going to be on this piece, and I want it to go over top of these flaps. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put some double stick tape on there like we talked about. This will hold securely. I don't have to worry about this. So I'm going to put my double stick tape on there. I'm going to turn my page. This is the opening because it's going to go on the gusset there. And I'm going to turn it sideways so that I can line up my flap And I'm going to put that in the very middle, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Can you see that? Then I'll open it back up and put it down again. Burnish it down. Now, see, it goes over that magnet that we put in. Now, this is going to be the piece that goes under this flap. It will go under the flap when we get ready to assemble this, but for right now, we're going to attach these flaps on top of it. Okay? So I'm going to take my double stick tape. I'm going to put it on this one. I'm going to take my double stick tape and I'm going to put it on this one. Good. Burnish them down. Now, if you're not sure about placement, add glue, because glue will allow you to move it a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it even with the bottom, but I'm going to put it to where it is. Let me pull in. See how it's lined up with the other flap? It won't show that way. So I'm putting it across the bottom. And I didn't get mine perfectly straight, but you get the idea. Okay, now I'm going to do this other one. It's hard on camera to be able to see how to line them up because you've not got your head over top of the paper. Okay. Now, I'm not about to show you the top of my head. It's bald. Okay, so there is my flaps. Let me pull that back out. You can see I put one up here, one down here, and they're going to fold like that with this one coming over top of it. Are you with me? Okay. Excellent job, guys. You've got your flaps attached. Now we can open this up, pull this tape off, and you should have cut a background piece, and we're going to glue that on there. Let me do a dry fit just to make sure. It should belly up to that crease here. Oh, that's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and add our glue and place that on top of our fold edges. If you want to round these corners, you're certainly welcome to. They look pretty. I just don't have the time right now to be able to do that on this video. I'm going to line it up against this flap. Actually, that looks pretty darn good right like that, folks. So we're going to leave it. And see, you can't even see that magnet there. It's almost impossible to see. Very good. Okay. And then this is going to go over, and this is going to go over. So we can take it now. Let me show you in the book. Okay, so here's what we have. We're now going to do this piece here, which means we have to add the ribbon and add the magnet under this. So let's go ahead and get this piece out here. See, that's the one that goes there. Then you have a little piece of ribbon, and you have another magnet, the other side, the positive or the negative, whichever one you use the first time. Use the opposite polar. Okay, now I'm going to take this. Now this is the tricky part. Open your flaps, lay your magnet down where it will attach to the one under the paper. See there? The sticky part is up, so that when I fold this over and I press down, that magnet comes off in place so that it'll stay shut. That way, when these flaps are closed, it stays shut. Isn't that cool? So what we're going to do is put the tape over that like we did the other one. Okay, and we're also going to put tape up here above it, because right here at the edge, I'm going to put the ribbon closure. And what I'm going to do is take this small piece of white that I cut off of my main piece. Remember, everything was on in your construction book. And I'm going to lay it down just like this in the middle. Wherever the middle may be. I hope I'm close. There we go. Then I'm going to take my scissors and trim off the extra ribbon. And I'm going to glue. One of them stuck by tape. I have to glue this one down. Okay? Now, let's dry fit the piece that goes on top. Looks good. So let's pull this off. Let's go ahead and add the glue to the back of the green. And we're going to place that on there. Outstanding. And press it down. So now your flap should hold nicely and you have a little closure to open it. You can take your decorative paper that you pick out. We're going to put one up here and one down here, or vice versa, however you want to do it. I am going to turn them though so that you can actually read it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those on. Bum, bum, bum. Hopefully that glue will wipe off. There we go. Stick the other one on. If you want to put decorative paper on the inside or the printed paper, you can go right ahead and do that. I did not choose to, but you can certainly have enough scraps to be able to do that. Let me burnish both of these down nicely. A great little place to put your pictures. And then I'm going to add on top of this piece here. This is probably the most difficult page of all of them. Just so you know, this has a lot of flaps. We're going to lay that down and burnish it. Now, what I did in the book was I took some stickers and I added this one to the bottom piece here. I thought that was lovely. And then I added the butterfly on the top part of that. My fingers are sticking to the paper. All right, and here's the butterfly. And then I'm going to close this and add one more sticker. Yeah, the dragonfly. I'm going to add that on here. Right about there. Isn't that a pretty page? So now, if I can get the paper off my finger, I'll show you. It works here, here, and here. Isn't that great? Awesome. Now, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to go ahead and grab another piece of the paper that goes into your pages, okay? So these should open like this. The reason being, this is what we're going to make now. This pocket and this pocket on top of this. So we're going to take the decorative paper. Give me just a second. Got to grab my products here, or my papers here that I had pre-cut. And we're going to attach these two. Now that was one sheet, so I split it in two so it would be pretty when you split open that paper, okay? And you don't need to worry about anything. You can go ahead and glue those down right now. on both page, what is this, 5 and 6? Yeah, 5 and 6. See, I told you this part would go fast. So I'm going to glue on 5. Here we go. No, this is page 6. I'm sorry. Page 6 opens this way. Page 5 opens this way. So I need to glue down page 5 now. Love the back side of that for junk journaling. That would be gorgeous, wouldn't it? Okay, I'll get some glue on there. Okay. And attach this down on the back of the page we did flaps on. Okay, so I have 5 and 6 there. Now, let me share with you what I did. I took a square piece of paper, okay? That square is actually 4.5 inches by 4.5. Then I measured from here to here and here to here 2 inches and drew a diagonal. Okay? So that diagonal looks like this when you make your pocket. Again, 4.5 by 4.5, and I measured 2 inches from this point. Then if you turn it this way, it makes this pocket. So it's the same measurement for both of them. So we might as well do them both right now. And when you cut out your paper, do the same thing. You're going to measure a whole square and cut it from that point. And on your cutting guide, it gives you those measurements. Now, what I'm going to do, I see now I made one big boo-boo. I made one of the flowers sideways. Love it. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so the flowers, you need to be aware. See, these were cut the same way. One a little bit bigger than the other. So we're going to go ahead. Maybe I cut a different one. Let me see here. Nope, I left a sample one for us to cut together. Okay, so I did do it the right way. I just didn't make a note of it. Okay, so this is actually going to be the decorative paper that you're going to need to cut is going to be 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then I want you to measure with a ruler from this edge over to 2 1/8 inches and 2, let me see here. I think I told you wrong. Hang on. There's the other one. 2 inches and 2 inches. So you're still doing 2 inches by 2 inches. So let's go ahead and use this one over here. And on this one, I'm going to measure 2 inches to right there and 2 inches to right there. And I'm going to make a straight line and cut that. I've got it marked. And then I'll use my scissors to cut it. Or you can use a trimmer, doesn't matter. And that should fit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my piece that I've got cut here. It's already scored for you. The pocket is. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish those down. One here and one here. I'm going to miter cut that X there like this so that it can go on the page on this side right here. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that and glue it in place. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera. Well, I think I've got enough tape on it. I don't have to glue. Yep. And if you want to cut a little miter edge there, you can. And a little miter edge here. I love those miter edges. They make it look so neat. Then I'm going to place it in this corner all the way at the edge here. And then burnish it down. This is the back of page 4. This is page 5. Then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it on there. Now, you can see this piece fits a little bit better. This one's a little bit tighter. What? Did I switch them by accident? I think I did. This one's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it is 4 inches from the... All right, we did it right. I picked up the wrong one a while ago. Sorry. Okay, my measurements are on your cutting guide, so you know exactly what you need to do. And then glue this down on top of this. Add your little sticker on there to make it look kind of like a little gardening journal. And page 5 is now done. Let's finish up page 6. And we're going to get our pocket for it. Here's our pocket for it. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did on the other one. And after this page, I'm going to take a break and have you go to the part 2 of this video, because the video will be too long if I let it continue to go. So I'm going to take my score tape again and put it on here. There. And there. Oops. I need to miter that anyway. There we go. Miter that one. Pull this off. Pull this off. And stick it down on page 6 at that very corner. I didn't get it quite down as low as I wanted. I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave it rather than tear it off. And now we're going to stick the corner piece on there that we cut. Perfect. This is the one we cut a moment ago. Add the glue. Doop, 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 doop. Put that one on here. Hopefully you'll get it straighter than I did. There we go. And then I gave you a little insert to go on this. You've got a piece of linen paper and a piece of the yellow. You can round these quarters if you wish to, but I'm going to go ahead and attach them, the yellow onto the white. Like so. And then I cut the decorative paper here to go on there. I thought that was really a pretty insert to go on that pocket. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but I just thought it really looked pretty. So that I have a little insert that will go in this pocket here. And then I can add the other sticker, which is the book, to go on there. And that's going to be page 5 and page 6. Now we're going to decorate the back of this, which is page 7, in the next video. Thanks, guys.